There is a version of someone you fell for that no longer exists. And the most painful part is not that they left. It is that they were never fully real to begin with. If that sentence just made you think of someone specific, do not scroll. What you are about to hear is something most people spend years learning the hard way. Think about the last time you felt truly safe with someone. In the beginning, they were patient, present. They noticed things about you that nobody else bothered to notice. And for the first time in a long time, you felt genuinely seen. So you opened up. You stopped protecting yourself. You became attached. And then without a single moment you could point to, something changed. Nothing dramatic. No fight. No obvious reason. Just a quiet feeling that the person in front of you was no longer the same person you gave yourself to. The warmth cooling. The effort thinning. The attention that once felt natural becoming something you had to ask for. And late at night, in the silence where your most honest thoughts live, you kept returning to the same question. Where did that person go? Here is what nobody tells you. People do not show you who they are when they are trying to win you. They show you who they need to be to make sure you stay. And the moment your attachment feels certain, that version of themselves quietly stops showing up. The first sign is effort that vanishes without explanation. They used to show up consistently. But once your bond deepened, that consistency quietly eroded. No argument caused it. Just a slow withdrawal you felt before you could name it. And when you finally spoke up, they made you feel like noticing the change was the real problem. That is not comfort. That is someone whose performance ended the moment they felt secure. The second sign is warmth that becomes conditional. They were once open and emotionally present. But after attachment forms, availability arrives only on their terms. Cold when you need them, warm when they need something. And you spend your energy trying to earn back a version of them that was never meant to stay. The third sign is your feelings becoming an inconvenience. You express something honest, and instead of comfort, you receive silence, irritation, or somehow your pain becomes your fault. And slowly, without realizing it, you start editing yourself, shrinking, choosing which feelings are safe to show. You call it being understanding, but it is disappearing, one quiet compromise at a time. The signs are only the surface. What sits underneath is the truth that once you see it, you cannot unsee. In the beginning, people are not pretending. They are performing their most motivated version. When losing you still feels possible, they show up. They stay consistent. They stay warm. Not always because they are a good person, but because the fear of losing you is greater than the effort required to keep you. But once your attachment is secure, that fear disappears. And without the fear, the effort dissolves. What you experienced at the beginning was real. It was just never coming from love. It was coming from wanting. And wanting is not the same thing. Wanting disappears the moment it is satisfied. Love does not require an audience. Love does not fade the moment it feels certain. What you fell for was a preview, shown only under conditions that no longer exist. The version of them you loved was not a lie. It was a sales pitch. Most people respond to this by turning inward. They try harder, give more, bend themselves into unrecognizable shapes trying to recover a version of the relationship that was never built to last. They believe that if they just love better, that person will return. But that person was never the full picture. And the more you chase them, the more of yourself you lose inside a relationship you are desperately trying to save. Real connection does not shrink you. It does not make your needs feel like a burden. It does not ask you to earn warmth that should never have had conditions attached to it. When consistency disappears after attachment, that is not the relationship settling. That is the mask becoming permanent. And the cruelest part is what your mind does next. It holds onto the earliest version of them like evidence, like proof that if you just stay patient enough, that person will return. So you adjust, you shrink, you convince yourself this is what real love requires. But that earlier version was not the foundation. It was the cost of entry. Paid once, never again. The greatest loss in this kind of relationship is never the ending. It is the quiet moment, in the middle when you catch a glimpse of yourself and realize how far you have traveled, from who you used to be, how much you silently handed over, trying to hold on to someone who had already let go so gently, so gradually, you never once felt their hands leave. If one word describes how this made you feel, leave it below. You will be surprised how many strangers feel exactly the same. And if you want to understand why we keep attaching to people who were never built to stay, subscribe. The next video goes somewhere most people are not ready for, but you clearly